Hello, Worth workers. How are you? I hope that you were able to watch some great examples of people who trust their worth and learn from them. I hope you had as much fun with last week's episode as I did. If you hadn't checked that out, that is episode 18, Characters Who Trust Their Worth. This week, I am feeling a little under the weather, so if my voice is deep, that is why. But I wanted to share some thoughts on how to overcome overthinking. And I hope these thoughts are as helpful to you as they were to me. So let's get into it. Okay, so the first one is from LEL Therapy on Instagram, and she gives one of the keys to stop overthinking. She calls it challenging the narrative, and it's that perspective that when you're dealing with someone and maybe they're rude to you and you're like, oh my gosh, what did I do? Like, something I'm doing must be causing them to be rude to me, or something that I'm saying or doing, like, it's totally my fault. We all want to be the main characters of our lives, but that person probably isn't thinking about you at all. And their mood and what's going on with them has absolutely nothing to do with you. When you're overthinking, the question to ask yourself is, what are the ways that this has nothing to do with me? And you can look at that person, maybe your friend is like a little upset, and you're going in your mind, you're freaking out about all the ways like, oh, if I do this, if I do that, if I do this. I'm a pro of that, about worrying about what I'm doing hurting other people. But it's not your responsibility to be on eggshells around people. It's your responsibility to live your own life, and it's their responsibility to tell you if they have a problem with you. Because how are you supposed to know that you're the cause of their issue if they didn't tell you? You can't read minds. It's not your job to take responsibility. So if you're overthinking, especially within a relationship of some sort, think about the ways that it has nothing to do with you. That probably, I want to say 99% of the time, everyone is thinking about themselves. We are inherently selfish. And the reasons I lash out at people is because something else happened that day to make me mad. And I'm just taking out on people I love because they're a safe space for me. They make me feel safe, so my true emotions come out. And unfortunately, they have to bear the brunt of my emotions. But I'm grateful because they still love me anyways. But yeah, just if you're overthinking about something in a relationship, either ask them if there is something, or just think about all the ways that it actually has nothing to do with you. If you're overthinking, that is one thing that might help you get through it. Okay. The second thing, this comes from Purposefully Zenny, and she has a reel that talks about how overthinking equals mistrust. Ooh, mistrust in whom? Yourself. When we get in the cycle of overthinking, it's because, oh my gosh, I have to make a choice. And you're afraid to make that choice because you're afraid to make the wrong choice, because that means that you don't trust your abilities going into this choice. But if that's the case, and the outcome is dependent on so many different factors, then the only way to get through the overthinking is to make a choice and to trust that choice. And I know, easier said than done, but like, you cannot move forward if you're not moving. If you get stuck in the overthinking cycle, like, okay, I have to make a choice. I've made this choice. Ooh, but is this the bad choice? And then you're back in the cycle of overthinking. But if you're like, I'm making this choice, if I've made a choice that is wrong, I'm going to find out pretty quickly that it was the wrong choice, because things are just it's not going to work out. For example, I was in college. I was a dancer for a cultural group called Remembering Our Cultures. And I was deciding if I wanted to dance that year. And so it just didn't feel right, but I just loved the group. But I don't know. I wasn't feeling it that year. Like, I had to do school. I had to do my responsibilities. Not that like I couldn't do both, but it was just like a lot. So I decided to dance. And then pretty quickly I injured my knee, not even dancing, like playing soccer that year. So I couldn't even dance anyway. So the choice was made for me that I just wasn't supposed to dance that year. It's not like I made the wrong choice by deciding to dance. It's just that like my life that year had a different trajectory. And I was able to, focus on slowing down and getting the things that I need to set up to, get onto the path to my future. But just trust your choices. Like in the reel, she just talks about how you're going to pause, you're going to make a choice, and then trust that choice. And then if you come to a crossroads again, you just pause, make a choice, trust that choice. Bet on you. Trust your worth. But when it comes to hard life decisions, yes, make the pros and cons, but like once you make that choice, trust that choice. And if you are being led down the wrong path, the universe is going to redirect you. That's all things not working out is. It's just redirection. So if overthinking is something that happens to you a lot, hopefully these two things help. That taking yourself out of the narrative, making sure it has nothing to do with you. And then secondly, trust your choices. That if you trust your choices, you don't have to overthink them because okay, I've made a choice. I'm going forward. You're moving in the right direction or you're being redirected to the right direction. So either way, when you trust your choices, it's going to help you get to where you want to go. Your worth work this week is to try out those two things. If you find yourself overthinking, then to ask the question, what are the ways that this has nothing to do with me? And see if that helps you to stop overthink. And then the other one is to pause, make a choice, and then to trust your choice. So I hope that helps you out this week. As always, thank you so much for listening. You can find me on Instagram at trust_your_worth and at trustyourworth.com. If no one has told you today, you are absolutely lovable in so many ways. And don't forget to trust your worth. Okay, thank you so much. Have a great day. Love you. Bye.